Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about this Winchester Steelcase, and specifically I'm going to be talking about the accuracy. I did a prior video where I was just talking overall about its reliability. I've been shooting this for about 11 months now, and the stuff's been working really good. In 11 months, I probably shot about 8,000 rounds of this stuff, mostly through my Glock 17. And I've only had one misfire where I can see that the primer was struck, and the round didn't go bang. Other than that, it works really well. Any jams that I do have is user related, because a lot of times I'm training new shooters, I'm training women, and they're not holding the gun firm enough. The stance may not be right, and that's something that I'm working with them on. Okay. But that is not an ammunition problem, that's a user problem. When I shoot the stuff works great, okay? And like I said, I've only had one misfire in 11 months with about, 8,000, 9,000 rounds, somewhere around there. I typically, right now I'm buying about 1,000 rounds per month. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 1,200 rounds per month. On average, I shoot anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000 rounds of 9mm per year between all my 9mm rifles and handguns. Okay, most of that, I'd say about 95% of that, goes through my Glock 17, which has about 70,000 rounds on it. For the purpose of this accuracy test, I used this Beretta CX4 Storm rifle, and basically I wanted to use a rifle, a 9mm rifle, that I can basically support front and back on bags, and basically get the best accuracy that I can get, and eliminate as much of me out of the equation as possible, and just focus on how good or bad the ammunition is. Okay, so I did 10-round groups. Okay, and with the Winchester Steelcase. Okay, here, a little closer, you can see it. It says Winchester USA forged, and basically it's Steelcase ammunition. Okay. There are my results at 30 yards. All right, and let me get a ruler. Basically, from the two most extreme shots, it is a 2-inch grouping. Okay, and basically I have a pretty tight cluster over here in the center at 30 yards, and that's about 1.5 inches. So if basically it looks like I have 2 flyers out here. If you discount the 2 flyers, I have 1.5 inch grouping. If you include them, I have a 2-inch grouping, as I've marked over here. Okay, so this is at 30 yards. I'm pretty happy with the stuff. I mean, obviously it's well within center mass. Obviously with a handgun, it's going to open up a little bit more, but that's what this stuff did. I did shoot a couple of other things so I can compare it. I shot the cellular bellet. All right, and there's my grouping with the cellular bellet at 30 yards. Okay, that's this stuff over here, cellular bellet. Okay. And again, the stuff shot at 2-inch grouping. You might even call it 1 3/4 inches. So you might even say it's a tad bit better. So I'm going to call that 1 3/4 inches. So it's maybe a tad bit better. All right. So that's the cellular and bellet. I shot this Federal brown box. This I was not happy with. Okay, and I shot this in the order I was doing this. This was the second one I shot, and from end to end, I've got about 3 3.25 inches. Okay, 3.25 inches, and it looks like I have one cluster here, and then another cluster here. This stuff is pretty spread out. Now I know it's not me, because with the 9mm rifle, there's very little recoil. So and I'm shooting it with a red dot. All right, there's a red dot on the rifle, and when I'm shooting, I got the red dot right here in the center, and when I'm shooting, both before, during, and after, I can see that the red dot basically does this. It never moves off this blue paper. Okay, so I know that I'm shooting the rifle very well. Red dot never comes off that blue bullseye while I am shooting it. So this is what it's doing. And then I also shot okay, this is the tool ammo. I shot some tool ammo here, which I've been shooting for about 6 years now. Okay, and basically with the tool ammo, which is very typical, I see this a lot when I'm shooting the 223, it gave me a very tight cluster over here. That's actually 1 inch. It gave me a 1 inch cluster over here, 8 rounds, and then I have 2 flyers out here. If you include the 2 flyers, I got about 2.5 inches. Okay, so it's a 2.5 inch grouping, including the 2 flyers, and a 1 inch if you discount the 2 flyers. So, you know, overall this stuff's not bad. With the Winchester, I'm very, very happy with. Both in terms of power, because the last time I shot this, last video I did, I ran this through a chronograph. I'm getting 358 foot-pounds of energy, so it's definitely giving me some power. You know, it's at the high end of the target ammo, and again, basically at 30 yards, a 2-inch grouping. So very happy. All right, so I'm definitely planning to keep shooting this stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.